as we do this, I will start to point out the major places. Go more towards here. So I want to the other way. Alright, so the scroll is going down. Alright, so you'll see on the scroll, if you can come around here, there are little X marks on the scroll itself. This is so that the scribe can make the lines perfectly straight. See? So that he, so that there's no deviation in the lines. There are also vertical lines so that he knows where the columns start and end. And you'll see that some of the places are written kind of special. Every column is exactly the same length, and each line, except for the last line of a paragraph, has to be the exact width of the column. Right? There are certain columns, there are certain places that things are written a little differently, like in the page right here. That is the Song of Moses. It's a ha'azinu. It's give ear, and it's the anti-penultimate. If you remember that, the anti-penultimate portion for the scripture, and so you'll see that, and you'll see different places as we go ahead and roll that look a little different. It's just an incredible opportunity to see the entire scroll re-roll. Okay, ready? Here we go. Music, please. All right, some rolling music. This is made out of a kosher animal hide. And you can see that it's made out of individual pages that are sewn together. You can see right there. It is sewn together with the sinew of a kosher animal.
And how old is our Torah?
This Torah is
400.
yeah. It was the 1800s. 1600s.
Ah, 16. From
Germany.
Germany. Ah. You want to see? Let's see. From here, all you see is black.
It made it through the Holocaust into the hands of a sofer or scribe, and we bought it from them. You can see the damage that's done to the scroll. You can see at the bottom of that central page right there. There's damage to it. That was in the course of its lifetime. Making it through the Holocaust, etc. It incurs some damage. The only ones who can fix these, because they are kosher scrolls, are the certified soferim, the scribes. So if we have to repair this, it gets sent out to an official scribe who fixes it for us, then sends it back. The wooden pieces? Yeah. Yes. That's because ours broke, and we sent it away and we had it fixed.
So does re-rolling this help preserve it or something? What's the purpose?
The purpose is, you can't just turn back to the front. We've read through the entire thing at this point. Next week we start with Bereshit. Bereshit is Genesis. It's at the beginning. Right now it's rolled all the way up in the middle of that. So in order for us to read from Bereshit, we have to re-roll the scroll. And that tells you that we have to do this once every year. That's right. I'm sitting on Torah. All right. This right here is Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4, which is what? We We decided it today. We decided every Shabbat. This is the Shema. And you can see right here on this page, this is Shema Yisrael, Adonai, God. You see that there's an ayin at the end of Shema that's bigger than everything else? See that right there? There's Dalet at the end of Echad that's bigger than everything else. The Hebrew word ayin Dalet is ad, which means witness. So the Shema then stands as a witness for God. You see that right there in the scroll. And then the rest of this paragraph is the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol, etc., etc. So that's where that is. Isn't it nice to see that some of these things that we're doing are actually right here in the scroll?
Yeah.
All right, you'll see in the middle of this next panel, there's a huge break in the text. What would you suppose that is?
The scribe got tired?
The scribe got tired. That actually is exactly right. No. That's the very end of Numbers and the beginning of Deuteronomy. You'll notice that there aren't any chapters or verses marked in here, right? Okay? Those were added much later. The only differentiation we have in the scriptures that is in fact textual are the different books that we have, which are delineated by the break in the text. And you notice at the end of this, right here, there's a blue ink marking. That's Hebrew script right here, and that's so that the scribe will be able to match the ends of the pages together. You'll notice that each page has 3 columns. As I mentioned before, sewn together with the seam of a kosher animal. If a scribe makes a mistake on any one of the 3 columns in this panel as he's writing it, it has to be destroyed. Wow. So each one has to be absolutely perfect. Can you imagine getting all the way to the end if this was all in one scroll and, messing something up? Oh!
Yeah, no.
That's a lot of mess up to throw away. And so they do it in pages. And so on each page, the scribe usually does a marking so that you can put the pages together and assemble them in the correct order by the time he's finished. It's also tradition that the scribe writes backwards. Why would you think maybe that the scribe writes each line backwards? That would be a good presumption. That's not the reason why they do it.
So he doesn't just have to write it from memory.
So he doesn't try and write it from memory. When you try to write things from memory, often you miss a letter or whatever. And so he actually has a copy sitting next to him, and as he does it, he's copying the letters backwards so that he makes absolutely positively sure that he gets each one right.
So does another scribe review it after he's done for quality purposes?
Another scribe does review each page. The small text there is so that he can get the entire line in the column, like the big text. There's only one place in the entire scroll where a single letter is written smaller than every other one. We'll see that when we get to the very beginning of the book of Vayikra, Leviticus. It depends on this. To re-roll it? It depends on the scribe. For some scribes, it could take like 6 months. For other scribes, it could be the life's work. Okay? Now there's a prayer that's usually recited during the liturgy when we bring the Torah scroll out. It says, "Vayehibed Soah Aaron Vayomer Moshe, Kuma Adonai v'yafuzu oyevecha v'yishu v'sedecha v'kanecha." That is right here in the scriptures. And it came to pass, whenever the ark went forward, Moses would say, "Arise, O Lord, and let your enemies be scattered. May those who hate you flee from before you." that is part of the liturgy that we are considering adding to our service during our Torah service, and we'll make that decision shortly. Now, at the end of every service, we end with another blessing. What do we end every service with? Deuteronomy benediction. Where is that found? It's not Deuteronomy, no. Yeah, it's Numbers chapter 6. That's right here. Yivurecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Okay? You'll notice that it's different because it was designated as a special blessing, and so they wrote it in a special way. So that was Numbers chapter 6, and we're getting towards the beginning of the book of Numbers. So at some point very soon, we should see another break in the text. And there we go. And what is the Hebrew name for the book of Numbers? Bamidbar, in the wilderness. Why is it the name of the book of Numbers? It's one of the first words in the book. So if we just finish Numbers, what are we looking at right here? What book are we looking at right here? What text is this? What book? Vayikra, the book of Leviticus. So this is all the laws, all the chukat, the chukatim, the mishpatim, the statutes and the judgments, all the chagim, the festivals. That's what we're looking at right here. I will tell you, this does take some forearm strength.
Yeah. I think a rolling out dough would be a cinch after you've done that in place.
How big is it? It's, I never actually measured it. I'm not really sure how long it is. All right. Now, who asked about the small letters? That is you. If you look at the very first word right there, that's Vayikra. That's the name of the book of Leviticus. What do you notice at the very, very end? There's a really, really small olive. They call that the humble olive. There's a lot of legend behind it about the humility of Moses. There are all kinds of other midrashic and agadic stories that go alongside of it. It is the only place in the entire scripture where the letter is written smaller than the rest of the text. There are several other places where it's written bigger, but that's the only place where it's written smaller. So, we just came through Leviticus. What are we looking at here? Exodus. Very good. What significant thing do we find in the book of Exodus? Specifically, Exodus chapter 20. The Ten Commandments. You will notice as we get there that the Ten Commandments are written differently. They will stand out to you as we get to them. You see right here at the top of this, this first column right here, those are the Ten Commandments. Okay? It begins right here. How does it start? Actually, it starts up here. Yep.
No.
Anochi Adonai Elohecha. I am the Lord your God. Okay? It continues down. Right down here, it says Zechor et Yom HaShabbat, which is remember the Sabbath day. Holy, exactly right. And then it continues through here until we get up here with the remainder of the Ten Commandments. And what is that? what happened right before, was that, you know, you already know that. That's the Song of Moses. Okay? There's a song that we sing sometimes, who is like you, O Lord among the gods? That's Mi Chamocha. And that comes from the Song of Moses. It's right here. Mi Chamocha, Ba'eli Adonai. Mi Chamocha, Nedar Ba'kodesh. Norati Lo Oseh Feleh. Who is like you, O Lord, among the gods? Who can be compared to you? Awesome in holiness, glorious in wonders, doing awesome in praise, doing wonders.
You weren't singing.
That's right, I wasn't singing. It's much, much harder in English. That's why each of these portions are set to a particular melody. You notice when I read from the Torah, there's a melody that goes along with it. There's a book that has notes, in fact. If you learn the notes, you can read the Torah and sing it, and that helps people to memorize it. If you want to memorize the Torah in Hebrew. Right? Now this is the very beginning of what?
Genesis.
It's the end of Bereshit, the beginning of. Correct. This is the end of Genesis, the beginning of that. Notice that it's now getting very, very big on my side, and very, very little on his side. That means that from the beginning of Bereshit through probably the end of Leviticus, the Chagma, the one who actually holds up the Torah, is best being somebody left-handed. Why is that? And all the weight is going to be on this side. And then from the end of Leviticus on, you're better off with somebody who's right-handed, again, for the same reason. And we're getting there. Almost there. Okay. There it is. It's the beginning. How do we know? It's just the beginning.
In the beginning.
And the big bang at the beginning of Bereshit. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim et haaretz. In the beginning of God's creation was the heaven and the earth. And because this is the end of the high holiday season, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the blue mantle back on it. I'm going to run the thread that.